Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to talk about deep work and not how much you worried under deep work, but deep work as an entity. I read a book called Deep Work 2-3 months ago by Carl Newport, and these are the things which I have implemented in my life and I wanted to share with you. If you know anything about Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft, of course. He takes Think Week in once a year, where he goes to this lakeside cabin he goes with a big bag of books, and he'll go there, and all he will do is read those books and think about the bigger problems he has to face as a billionaire. As you know, he founded Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and he is trying to eradicate a lot of diseases in this world. So he goes with the favorite books he has and tries to solve problems, or tries to find out who he needs to reach out to solve those bigger problems. It's very interesting to me the kind of resources he have, and with the kind of responsibilities he has, he still takes one whole week out without any distraction, without any cell phones, to do that kind of work. And that's the kind of deep work we are talking about here. By definition, in Carl Newport's book, let me read it right here. Deep work is defined as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skills, and are hard to replicate. In simple words, it's the kind of work which you do when you are in full concentration, and the results which you get are more impactful than any of the results which you would get in a normal work day. You get into something called a flow state, where you just focus all your energy into a certain work and get that thing done. There was a study done by McKinsey in 2012 on knowledge workers. When we talk about knowledge workers, these are the professors, researchers, students. These workers, apparently they spend 60% of their time in telecommunications and looking things online, and more than 30% of their time just goes into emails and phone calls. Imagine how much more efficient they will be if we kind of eradicate that. If you know anything about Adam Grant is apparently the youngest professor in Harvard Business School. He does a lot of talks. He has written books with Sheryl Sandberg. He has written books on deep work, efficiency, how to create more research, and there's a lot of articles about him. Check it out. I'm going to leave that link in description as well. On an average, he produces double of the research paper his peers produced on the same level. To think about it, what he does is he shifts all of his classes during the fall semester, and during the spring semester, all he does is write. All he does is research. As a group or as a community, what we are doing is we are tilting towards shallow work. Every beep, every vibrate, every notification is kind of distracting us. And day by day, we are kind of damaging the part of the brain which is responsible for deep work. What we should be doing is we should be training it every day to become better at it. Because if you become better at it, then you will be able to do critical thinking, and you will be able to solve much bigger problems than you think you are capable of. The simple formula to deep work is high quality work produced equals to time spent into intensity of focus. A lot of people, what they do is they take busyness as a proxy for productivity. They think that if they're doing a lot of work, they're productive. But it is very contrary to that. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have 3 courses. Okay, one course is 4 credit course, and 2 courses is 2 credit and 1 credit respectively. What you should be doing is you should be focusing on the 4 credit course, because it's going to get you the most amount of it's going to impact your grade the most. But what people usually do is they focus on the 2 credit and 1 credit, because maybe they are easy, they don't need that much attention, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna just do these courses, score a better grade in that. But what they miss out on the point is that those courses are not going to impact your overall GPA as much a 4 credit course is going to impact. Me and Simran get into this discussion a lot, that it's so much easier to do a job than do research, because in a job there's a lot of feedback, there are milestones you have to achieve, and there is an external push from your boss, from your co-workers to make things done. But in case of research, you'll have to find internal motivation, you'll have to do deep work, and you'll have to find answers to the problems which haven't been solved, and you have to take it a step further. That's why PhDs are not as easy as you would think, and that's why a lot less people do PhD and lot more people do masters, because a lot of masters are non-thesis. All you have to do is pass the courses. To pass the courses, it's not as difficult as to write a thesis. So that's another example of deep work. There are 4 rules which Carl Newport mentioned in this book, and let me tell you those 4 rules. Number 1, work deeply. In this work deeply section, there are 4 disciplines. Let me describe 4 disciplines to you. Number 1, focus on what is widely important. I think it is self-explanatory. Focus on what is the most important thing which you have to get done to become a better person, to become a better employee, or to become a better businessman. Number 2, act on lead measures. What he means hereby is that you need to focus on the lead measures. If you know about the 80-20 rule, or something which is called Pareto's principle, is that 80% of the results come out of the 20% work which you put in. So let's take a class, okay? Let's take a professor who's teaching us in the class. Most of the stuff he teaches us in the class is, let's say, 20 to 30% of what is in the book. When you are taking an exam, you not necessarily have to read the whole book to pass the exam. By just focusing what a professor is teaching in the class, you can still score upwards of 70 to 80% of the marks. But to score the rest of 20% of the marks, you will have to put in the extra 80% efforts. Number 3, keep a compelling scoreboard. So what I've started doing is, if you can see my calendar right here, my calendar has a bunch of calendars. I made an additional calendar in there, in calendar, or whatever you want to say, which is deep work. Every time I do a deep work session, I mark it down in the calendar. Luckily, I've been doing that every weekday these days. From 8:30 to 9:30, I sit down with my pen, with my paper. I do not take my laptop usually, just because I wouldn't be able to think, and I kind of create content. I kind of create what I want to do with this YouTube channel. I kind of create what I want to do with Radical in long term as well. Number 4, create a cadence of accountability. I wouldn't go deep in this one, as it is focused on the big teams. Rule number 2, embrace boredom. When was the last time when you told someone that I'm getting bored a lot? Because every time we get bored, in a queue or in an entity or in a space, when let's say we are going to the doctor and waiting for the doctor to check up on us, we open our phone and start scrolling. We check out the reels, we check out Instagram, we check out other things. I think human mind day by day is getting less bored. And it's the same with kids, because every time the kids getting bored, their parents would hand them an iPad, or hand them a toy, or hand them like, oh, watch this thing on my phone, just to keep them quiet. And what it is doing, it is kind of creating this high stimuli, low value situation in our mind. What I mean by high stimuli, low value situation is, every time you're checking your Instagram or you're checking Facebook, that's a high stimulus in your brain, but it is creating low value. So what is happening is, you're going from this high stimuli, low value situation to a low stimuli, high value situation, which is your work. So what we used to do is, we used to go a lot from low stimuli, high value situation when we are working, to, let's say, watching TV for 30 minutes, 1 hour. But now our TV is like literally in our hands. Every time we are getting bored, every time we are taking break, we are scrolling through things. So we are switching between low stimuli, high value stuff to high stimuli, low value stuff. Whenever we are working, our brain is like, oh, give me more stimulus, give me more of this Instagram, give me more of this social media. And your focus is always getting distracted towards all these phone stuff, computer stuff, whatever you want to say. So let yourself be bored. Embrace boredom. Number 3, quit social media. I've talked about digital detox before, but I'll talk about it again. There was a study done in Harvard Business School. They gave a puzzle to students and gave them 45 minutes to solve that puzzle. In this experiment, a professor or somebody would go and tap on the shoulder of the student and tell them like, hey, come, we need to get you to fill a form. When the student comes back, he would take a little more time to get back into the zone of solving the puzzle. Now, think about yourself in a situation when you're deep into a problem, when you're deep into coding something, or when you're deep into a question or studying something and you get a notification, you're like, oh, it's gonna just take me 30 seconds to check it. But now what it has done, it has left a residue in your mind. This residue is going to stay for a while and it's going to take time to get back into focus. So every time you're getting distracted, it's hurting your brain and it's breaking your deep work cycle. So doing a digital detox for a while really helps with embracing deep work. And number 4, drop the shallows. Now this is more focused on people who are in offices. There One of the companies did this experiment. Instead of going from 5/8, that means 5 days, 8-hour works, they shifted to a 4/8 work week. That means 4 days, 8-hour work week. They found out because they were eliminating time from somebody's workspace, a lot of people were kind of decluttering, removing like chit chatter, removing times from meetings, be more efficient, do more deep work, and still were able to get things done during the 4 days. So in a personal sense, what you want to do is remove the clutter, as we talked before, remove the shallow work, remove the clutter, and focus on what matters the most, what is going to create more high value. And here is one more thing which I've been doing, which has been working. I've downloaded this app called Flora, and I can set up time zones. So I can set up a duration for 30 minutes and I can actually price it like, let's say $5 or so that I know that I'm not going to touch my phone, because if I touch my phone, then it's going to charge $5 from my account. This is what I've been doing. But that's it, guys. I thought I'd share this with you. I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this one. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.